भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नो दिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रयवतु। गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम्। ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय ॐ नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यव उतोत इषवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः यात इषुः शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते धनुः शिवा शरव्यायातवतया नो रुद्रमृडया याते रुद्रशिवा तनोरघोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुभाषन्तमया गिरिशन्ता विजागशी यामिषुं गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्षस्तवे शिवां गिरित्रतां कुरु माहि गुंशीपुरुषं जगत् शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्चावदामसि यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असत् अद्य वोचदधिभक्ता प्रथमो देव्योऽभिषक् अहीगश्च सर्वान् चम्भयन् सर्वाश्रयास्तु धान्यः असो यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुस्सु मङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षुश्रिता सहस्रशो वैशागुं हेणीमहे असो यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उदैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुत आर्यः उदैनं विश्वाभूतानि सदृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीडुषे अतो ये अस्य सत्त्वानोऽहं तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोराग्नियोर्जाम् याश्च देहस्त इषवः पराता भगवो वपा अवतत्य धनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशदेषु ते निशीर्य शल्यानां मुखा शिवो नः सुमना भवा विज्यं धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो भानवागुं उता अने सन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः याते हेतिर्मीडुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नातताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अतो य इषुदिष्टवारे अस्मन्निदेहितम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्य साई बाबाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्य स्वरूपाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्य धर्मपरायणाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् वरदाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्पुरुषाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्यगुणात्मने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् साधुवर्धनाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् साधुजनपोषणाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वजनप्रियाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वशक्तिमूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वसंगपरित्यागिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वान्तर्यामिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् महिमात्मने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् महेश्वर स्वरूपाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् भक्तिग्रामोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् भक्तिश्रेष्ठनिवासिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् विशकाय श्रीनिवासिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् ज्योति आदिपल्लि सोमप्पाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् भारद्वाज ऋषिगोत्राय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् भक्तवत्सलाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अभान्तरात्मने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अवतारमूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वभयनिवारणे नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् आपस्तम्भसूत्राय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् रत्नाकरवंशोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् शिरडी साई अभेदशक्ति अवताराय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् शंकराय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् शिरडी साई मूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री भगवान द्वारकामाई वासिने नमः। ओम श्री भगवान चित्रावती तटपुटपति विहारिणे नमः। ओम श्री भगवान शक्ति प्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान शरणागत त्राणाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आनंदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आनंददाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आतत्राणापरायणाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अनाथनाथाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान असहाय सहायाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान लोकबांधवाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान लोकरक्षापरायणाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान लोकनाथाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान दीनजनपोषणाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान मुक्तित्रय स्वरूपाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान मुक्तिप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कलशविदुराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान करुणाकराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वाधाराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वहृदयवासिने नमः। ओम श्री भगवान पुण्यफलप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वपापक्षयकराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वरोगनिवारिणे नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वपातहराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अनंतनतकर्त्रिणे नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आदिपुरुषाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आदिशक्तये नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अव्यक्तशक्तिने नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अव्यक्तरूपिणे नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कामक्रोधध्वंसिने नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कनकांबरधारिणे नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अद्भुतचर्याय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आपद्बांधवाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान प्रेमात्मने नमः। ओम श्री भगवान प्रेममूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री भगवान प्रेमप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान प्रियाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तप्रियाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तमन्दाराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तजनहृदयहाराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तजनहृदयालयाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तपराधीनाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्ति ज्ञान प्रदीपाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्ति ज्ञान प्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सुज्ञान मार्गदर्शकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान ज्ञान स्वरूपाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान गीता बोधकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान ज्ञान सिद्धिदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सुंदर रूपाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान पुण्य पुरुषाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान फलप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान पुराण पुरुषाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अतीताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कालातीताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सिद्धि रूपाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सिद्ध संकल्पाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आरोग्य प्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अन्न वस्त्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान संसार दुख शयकराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वाभीष्ट प्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कल्याण गुणाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कर्मध्वंसिने नमः। ओम श्री भगवान साधु मानस शोभिताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वमत सम्मताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान साधु मानस परशोतकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान साधुकान प्रतिष्ठापकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सकल संशय हराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सकल तत्व बोधकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान योगेश्वराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान योगेंद्र वंदिताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वमंगलकराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वसिद्धिप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आपनिवारणे नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आरतिहराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान शांतमूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सुलभ प्रसन्नाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबाय नमः।
देवादिदेव विनायका देवादिदेवा विनायका प्रणवस्वरूपा सुरमुनिवन्दिता प्रणवस्वरूपा सुरमुनिवन्दिता देवादिदेवा विनायका मंगलचरणा पाहि गजानन मंगलचरणा पाहि गजानन हे शुभदायक विघ्न विनाशक हे शुभदायक विघ्न विनाशक श्रीचरणं भवदुःखहरणं श्रीचरणं भवदुःखहरणं श्रीचरणं भवदुःखहरणं श्रीचरणं भवदुःखहरणं देवादिदेवा विनायका प्रणवस्वरूपा सुरमुनिवन्दिता देवादिदेवा विनायका मंगलचरणा पाहि गजानन हे शुभदायक विघ्न विनाशक श्रीचरणं भवदुःखहरणं श्रीचरणं भवदुःखहरणं श्रीचरणं भवदुःखहरणं देवादिदेवा विनायका
रघुकुलभूषण राजीवनयना रघुकुलभूषण रघुकुलभूषण राजीवनयना रघुकुलभूषण ईश्वराम्बनन्दन सत्य साई रामा ईश्वराम्बनन्दन सत्य साई रामा ईश्वरा प्रशान्ति निलया पावन दाबा
प्रशान्ति निलया पावन दाबा
प्रशान्ति निलया पावन दाबा
प्रशान्ति निलया पावन दाबा
जय जय राम प्रभु साई राम
जय जय राम
प्रभु साई राम जय जय राम प्रभु साई राम जय जय राम प्रभु साई राम रघुकुल भूषण राजीव नयना जानकी वल्लभ लावण्य रामा जानकी वल्लभ लावण्य रामा निरुपम सुंदर सुगुणाभिरामा निरुपम सुंदर सुगुणाभिरामा प्रशान्ति निलया पावन दाबा प्रशान्ति निलया पावन दामा
प्रशान्ति निलया पावन दाबा
जय जय राम प्रभु साई राम 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 रघुकुल भूषण राजीव नयना
अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड साई
अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड साई
अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड साई
अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड साई
आनंददायी साई राम
आनंददायी साई राम
आनंददायी साई राम
आनंददायी साई राम
परमेश्वरा पतीश्वरा
साईश्वरा
करुणाकरा करुणामया
करुणाकरा करुणामया
प्रशान्ति साई सुन्दरा
प्रशान्ति साई सुन्दरा
प्रशान्ति साई सुन्दरा
प्रशान्ति साई सुन्दरा
अखिलाण्डकोटि ब्रह्माण्ड साई
मन मंदिर में आवो साई
मन मंदिर में आओ साई
मन मंदिर में आवो साई
मन मंदिर में आओ साई
साई भगवान दर्श दिखावो
साई भगवान दर्श दिखाओ
साई भगवान दर्श दिखावो
साई भगवान दर्श दिखाओ
मन मंदिर में आवो साई
मन मंदिर में आओ साई
सदा निरंतर भजो साईराम
सदा निरंतर भज साईराम
सदा निरंतर भजो साईराम
सदा निरंतर भज साईराम
गिरधर नागर नटवर श्याम गिरधर नागर नटवर श्याम साई भगवान दर्श दिखावो
साई भगवान दर्श दिखाओ
साई भगवान दर्श दिखावो
साई भगवान दर्श दिखाओ
मन मंदिर में आवो साई
मन मंदिर में आओ साई
साई भगवान दर्श दिखावो
साई भगवान दर्श दिखाओ
मन मंदिर में आवो साई
मन मंदिर में आओ साई
सदा निरंतर भजो साईराम
सदा निरंतर भज साईराम
सदा निरंतर भजो साईराम
भज साईराम
गिरधर नागर नटवर श्याम साई भगवान दर्श दिखावो
साई भगवान दर्श दिखाओ
साई भगवान दर्श दिखावो
साई भगवान दर्श दिखाओ
मन मंदिर में आवो साई
I keep feeling your love in me over and over again.
I keep feeling your love in me over and over again.
I keep feeling your love in me over and over again.
I keep feeling your love in me over and over again.
And it's sweeter and sweeter as the days go by.
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 Oh, what a love between my Lord and I.
Oh, what a love between my Lord and I.
Oh, what a love between my Sai and I.
Oh, what a love between my Sai and I.
My Sai and I, 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 my Sai and I.
I keep feeling your love in me over and over again.
I keep feeling your love in me over and over again.
And it's sweeter and sweeter as the days go by.
Sweeter and sweeter as the days go by.
Oh, what a love between my Sai and I.
Oh, what a love between my Sai and I.
My Sai and I, 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 my Sai and I.
Feeling your love in me over and over again. गौरी मनोहर हे नटराजा गौरी मनोहर हे नटराजा शिव शिव शंकर हे शिवराजा
शिव शिव शंकर हे शिवराजा.
शिव शिव शंकर हे शिवराजा
शिव शिव शंकर हे शिवराजा.
गौरी मनोहर हे नटराजा
गौरी मनोहर हे नटराजा.
पावन चरिता पाहि महेशा
चरिता पाहि महेशा.
पावन चरिता पाहि महेशा
चरिता पाहि महेशा.
पाहि महेशा हे जगदीशा
पाहि महेशा हे जगदीशा.
पाहि महेशा हे जगदीशा
पाहि महेशा हे जगदीशा.
करुणामया प्रभु हे जगदीशा
करुणामया प्रभु हे जगदीशा.
करुणामया प्रभु हे जगदीशा
करुणामया प्रभु हे जगदीशा.
गौरी मनोहर हे नटराजा
गौरी मनोहर हे नटराजा.
शिव शिव शंकर हे शिवराजा
शिव शिव शंकर हे शिवराजा.
गौरी मनोहर हे नटराजा
गौरी मनोहर हे नटराजा.
पावन चरिता पाहि महेशा प्रभु ये जगदीश
गौरी मनोहर हे नटराज
नंदलाला श्याम सुंदर नंदलाला
लाला श्याम सुंदर नंदलाला
नंदलाला श्याम सुंदर नंदलाला
लाला श्याम सुंदर नंदलाला
कौस्तुभधारी वनमालाधर श्यामल मधुर गोपाला
कौस्तुभधारी वनमालाधर श्यामल मदन गोपाला
कौस्तुभधारी वनमालाधर श्यामल मदन गोपाला
कौस्तुभधारी वनमालाधर श्यामल मदन गोपाला
राधे श्याम साई राम साई राम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम साई राम साई राम
राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
राधा माधव मदन गोपाला राधा माधव मदन गोपाला मथुरानाथ गोपाला
मथुरानाथ गोपाला
मथुरानाथ गोपाला
मथुरानाथ गोपाला
परती नंदन हृदय संजीवन
परती नंदन हृदय संजीवन
परती नंदन हृदय संजीवन
परती नंदन हृदय संजीवन
श्यामल मदन गोपाला
मदन गोपाला
श्यामल मदन गोपाला राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
नंदलाला श्याम सुंदर नंदलाला
नंदलाला श्याम सुंदर नंदलाला
कौस्तुभधारी वनमालाधर श्यामल मदन गोपाला
कौस्तुभधारी वनमालाधर
श्यामल वदन गोपाला
राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
राधा माधव मदन गोपाला
राधे
श्याम साई श्याम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम साई श्याम साई श्याम
श्याम सुंदर नंदलाला। हे जगत बंधो हे जगन्नाथा परतिपुरी भगवान।
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 दया करो मैं शरण तुम्हारी सत्य साई 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 भगवान।
तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो गुरु भगवान।
तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो गुरु भगवान।
तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो गुरु भगवान।
तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो गुरु भगवान।
दया करो मैं शरण तुम्हारी सत्य साई 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 भगवान।
हे जगत बंधो हे जगन्नाथा परतिपुरी भगवान।
हे जगत बंधो हे जगन्नाथा परतिपुरी भगवान।
दया करो मैं शरण तुम्हारी सत्य साई भगवान।
दया करो मैं शरण तुम्हारी सत्य साई भगवान।
तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो गुरु भगवान।
तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो गुरु भगवान।
दया करो मैं शरण तुम्हारी सत्य साई भगवान।
दया करो मैं शरण तुम्हारी सत्य साई भगवान।
साई राम साई राम
साई राम साई राम
साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम
साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई
साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम
साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम
साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम
साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम
दया करो मैं शरण तुम्हारी सत्य साई भगवान।
भज मन राम भज मन राम
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 पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
हे पांडुरंग साई रंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग साई रंग भज मन राम
भज मन माधव भज मन केशव
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 भज मन यादव भज मन राम
भज मन यादव भज मन राम
हे पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
हे पांडुरंग साई रंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग साई रंग भज मन राम
भज मन मुकुंद भज मन गोविंद
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 भज मन आनंद भज मन राम
भज मन आनंद भज मन राम
हे भज मन आनंद भज मन राम
भज मन आनंद भज मन राम
पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
बोलो पांडुरंग साई रंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग साई रंग भज मन राम
भज मन राम भज मन
भज मन
राम
राम भज मन राम
पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
भज मन माधव भज मन केशव
भज मन माधव भज मन केशव
भज मन यादव भज मन राम
भज मन यादव भज मन राम
पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
भज मन मुकुंद भज मन गोविंद
भज मन मुकुंद भज मन गोविंद
भज मन आनंद भज मन राम
भज मन आनंद भज मन राम
हे पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग श्रीरंग भज मन राम
हे पांडुरंग साई रंग भज मन राम
पांडुरंग साई रंग भज मन राम
भज मन राम भज मन राम मुरलीधरा मुरहरा नटवरा
मुरलीधरा मुरहरा नटवरा
मुरलीधरा मुरहरा नटवरा
मुरलीधरा मुरहरा
वृंदावन संचार जगदोदारा यशोद बाला नंद कुमारा यशोद बाला नंद कुमारा यशोद बाला नंद कुमारा मुरलीधरा मुरहरा तवरा मुरलीधरा मुरहरा नटवरा संचार जगदोधारा संचार जगदोधारा संचार जगदोधारा यशोद बाला नंद कुमारा यशोद बाला नंद कुमारा यशोद बाला नंद कुमारा यशोद बाला नंद कुमारा
जननी मा
श्री अरुणगिरिनाथ शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
अरुणगिरिनाथ शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
श्री अरुणगिरिनाथ शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
श्री अरुणगिरिनाथ शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
वल्ली नायक दीन शरण्य वल्ली नायक दीन शरण्य
नायक दीन शरण्य
श्री अरुणगिरिनाथ शिव सुब्रह्मण्य करुणा सागर श्री कार्तिकेया
करुणा सागर श्री कार्तिकेया
श्रित जन पालक शिव कुमारा
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 पतिपुरीश्वर पावन चरणा
पतिपुरीश्वर पावन चरणा
पतिपुरीश्वर पावन चरणा
पतिपुरीश्वर पावन चरणा
शिव शिव हर 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 शिव शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
शिव शिव हर 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 शिव शिव
शिव शिव हर 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 शिव शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
शिव शिव हर 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 शिव शिव
श्री अरुणगिरिनाथ शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
श्री अरुणगिरिनाथ शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
वल्ली नायक दीन शरण्य श्री अरुणगिरिनाथ शिव सुब्रह्मण्य करुणा सागर कार्तिकेया श्रित जन पालक शिव कुमारा पतिपुरीश्वर पावन चरणा पतिपुरीश्वर पावन चरणा शिव शिव हर 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 शिव शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
शिव शिव हर 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 शिव शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
शिव शिव हर 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 शिव शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
शिव शिव हर 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 शिव शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
सुब्रह्मण्य शरणं स्वामिनाथ शरणं शरणं सुब्रह्मण्य शरणं शरणं षण्मुखनाथ शरणं शरणं
सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं षण्मुखनाथ शरणं शरणं
सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं स्कन्दकुमार शरणं शरणं
सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं षण्मुखनाथ शरणं शरणं
सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं पतिपुरीशा शरणं शरणं सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं पतिपुरीशा शरणं शरणं सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं स्वामिनाथ शरणं शरणं सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं षण्मुखनाथ शरणं शरणं सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं स्कन्दकुमार शरणं शरणं सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं पतिपुरीशा शरणं शरणं सुब्रह्मण्यं शरणं शरणं पतिपुरीशा शरणं शरणं श्री अरुणगिरिनाथ शिव सुब्रह्मण्य
भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं, हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं, हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं, हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं, हरि भजन बिना शांति नहीं, हरि भजन बिना जप ध्यान बिना संयोग नहीं, जप ध्यान बिना संयोग नहीं, प्रभु दर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं, प्रभु दर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं, दय धर्म बिना सत्कर्म नहीं, दय धर्म बिना सत्कर्म नहीं, भगवान बिना कोई अपना नहीं, भगवान बिना कोई अपना नहीं, हरि नाम बिना परमार्थ 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 नहीं, हरि भजन हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं, हरि भजन बिना, हरि भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं।
Mata Ishvara. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Shashivadana Shikara Sarva Pranapade. Swami Sarva Pranapade. Ashita Kalpalatika, Ashita Kalpalatika, Abhalbhandana, Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Mata Pita Gurudeva Mariyantayunide, Swami Mariyantayunide. Nada Brahma Jagannatha, Nada Brahma Jagannatha, Nagendra Shayana. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Om Pararupa Ojasya Sai Mahadeva, Sathya Sai Mahadeva. Mangala Arati Anduko, Mangala Arati Anduko, Mandala Giridhari. Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Narayana Narayana Om Sathya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Sathya Narayana Narayana Om Sathya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva. Narayana Narayana Om Sathya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Sathya Narayana Narayana Om Sathya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva. Narayana Narayana Om Sathya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Sathya Narayana Narayana Om Sathya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Paramam Pavitram Baba Vibhutim Paramam Vishitram Leela Vibhutim Paramartha Ishtata Moksha Pradhanam Baba Vibhutim Idamashrayami. Sacred, holy and supreme is Baba's Vibhuti, flowing forth in sacred streams, his play of Vibhuti. So auspicious is its might, it grants liberation. Baba's Vibhuti, its power protects me. Paramam Pavitram Baba Vibhutim Paramam Vishitram Leela Vibhutim Paramartha Ishtata Moksha Pradhanam Baba Vibhutim Idamashrayami. Mangalam Gurudevaya Mangalam Jnanadayine Mangalam Pativasaya Mangalam Sathya Saini. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shri Sairam. Our announcements for today. The Sri Ganapati Temple's annual festival continues until Wednesday, the 26th of July. The Chariot Festival will take place on Sunday, the 23rd of July. If you wish to help on the day, the steward's briefing for all volunteers will take place at 5 p.m. on Saturday, the 22nd of July in the upper hall. There will also be an additional briefing at 8 a.m. on Sunday, the 23rd of July. It is essential that all stewards attend these briefings. Your help is essential to ensure the safety of all devotees who wish to worship on this special chariot festival day. For more information, please speak to Brother Jaikara or Brother Manu. We will now have a short video of Swami and afterwards a short talk. Saira.
విద్యార్థులారా,
Students,
యువకులారా,
youngsters,
యువతులారా,
young men and women,
మీరు నేర్చిన విద్యలు గొప్పవి కాదు.
your learning is not that great.
నేర్చవలసినటువంటి విద్య ఇది దైవ విద్యనే నేర్చుకోవాలి.
What is you have got to learn is learning of the divinity.
కనుక ఈ విద్యను మనం నేర్చుకుంటే సర్వ విద్యలు మనకు వశమైపోతాయి.
This knowledge of God will make you learn rest of the things of the world.
కనుక ఈ 3 దినములు 4 దినములు ప్రశాంతంలో మీరు నిలిచి జీవితమును గడిపి ఈ మరణమును నిరంతరము కూడాను చేసుకుంటూ తద్వారా మీ యొక్క భక్తి ప్రపత్తులు కూడాను సేవా అభివృద్ధులు కూడాను గావించుకుంటూ జీవితాన్ని సార్థకం చేసుకుంటూ రండి.
You have spent the last 3 and 4 days here in Prashanthi Nilayam. You have listened to many sacred things. Go on recalling, go on recapitulating, render service in society and set an idea.
ఇక్కడ ఉండినంత మాత్రమున మనకు ఈ భక్తి ప్రపత్తులు ప్రదర్శించి ప్రయోజనం లేదు.
It's no use if you have devotion so long you are here.
ఈ భక్తి ప్రపత్తులు మీ వెంటనే నీడగా ఉంటుండాలి.
Wherever you are, you may go anywhere. The devotion and sincerity should follow.
షాడో,
like a shadow.
నీ షాడో నిన్ను వదిలి ఏ విధంగా పోదో,
your shadow will never leave you.
అదే విధంగా నీ ఆత్మానందం అనేటువంటిది నీ షాడో వంటిది, దాన్ని వదిలిపోకూడదు.
Likewise, the bliss of the spirit should follow you. It should never leave you.
అప్పుడప్పుడు మననం చేసుకుంటూ రండి.
You should recall now and then.
ఓ ప్రశాంతిలో చేరాము,
we were there in
Prashanthi, చెప్పాడు,
భగవాన్ said
ఈ విధంగా విన్నాము అని మీరు మాట్లాడుకుంటూ రండి.
and you go on sharing
మననం చేస్తూ ఉంటే ఎంతైనా అభివృద్ధి వస్తుంది.
if you go on recollecting, recalling, you will be very happy.
పశువులు కూడాను ఆహారం చూచినప్పుడు పచ్చని గడ్డిని చూసినప్పుడు ప్రవేశిస్తాయి, బిరిబిరిబిరిగా తినేసేస్తాయి.
The cows watching the green grass will start eating.
చాలా త్వరగా తినేసేస్తాయి.
Eat very fast.
కానీ
but
తిరిగి తన స్వస్థానమైనటువంటి ఘాటికి పోయేటప్పటికి తిరిగి బయట తీసుకుని నెమరి వేసి చక్కగా జీర్ణింప చేసుకుంటాయి.
after reaching its place, the cows start masticating, bringing broth, all that is eaten.
ఇక్కడ మీరు చాలా త్వరగా తిన్నారు స్వామి యొక్క ఆహారం.
You have eaten so much of the food of God, Bhagavan.
స్వస్థానంకి వెళ్ళి తిరిగి మననం చేసుకుంటూ దాన్ని జీర్ణించుకుంటూ రావాలి.
After going to your native place, you should recall, recapitulate.
అప్పుడే ఈ యొక్క ఆహారం యొక్క శక్తి మీకు పుష్టినిస్తుంది.
Then you will have all the strength out of this food you have partaken.
సంతుష్టిని అందిస్తుంది.
This will give you all the satisfaction.
కనుక మీరు ఏ విధమైన దీంట్లో కూడా సందేహపడనక్కర్లేదు.
Never doubt in any
దైవ విశ్వాసాన్ని పెంచుకోండి.
Develop faith in God.
సేవను మీరు అభివృద్ధి పరచుకోండి.
Develop, grow in service.
సేవ ద్వారానే మీరు జీవితం అనేటువంటి సార్థకమవుతుంది.
Through service you can redeem your life.
ఈ యొక్క మాటలను పవిత్రమైన సూత్రములుగా మీరు భావించుకోవాలి.
Consider these words, Bhagavan's message, as the
ఇంకా
sacred
10 మందిని మీరు పెంచాలి.
You should grow more and more.
ఒక్కొక్క వ్యక్తి 100 మందిని పెంచుకుంటుంటే దేశమంతా ఎంత బాగుపడుతుంది.
Every person should spread and share with 100 each.
కనుక ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి కూడా ప్లస్ 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 చేస్తూ పోవాలి.
Like this you can go on adding.
అప్పుడే జగత్తంతా ఏకమైపోతుంది.
Then the whole world will be one.
అప్పుడే సర్వము ఏకాత్మ భావం కుదిరిపోతుంది.
Then you will have this principle of unity, oneness.
యువకులారా, నిత్యము మీకు చాలా శ్రమను అందిస్తున్నానేమో.
Is Bhagavan giving you trouble every day?
కానీ నీకోసమే నేను ఇన్ని శ్రమలైనా పడతాను.
Bhagavan is ready to trouble himself for your sake.
మీరు బాగుపడితే చాలు.
It is enough if you are good.
మీరు బాగుపడి సమాజాన్ని బాగుపరిస్తే అదే నా ఆనందం.
You be good and make the society good equally. That is enough for someone.
ఈ సేవ యందు ఇంటిలో మాత్రం ట్రబుల్ ఇచ్చి మీరు పోకూడదు.
But in the name of service, don't put your own people at home in
తల్లిదండ్రులకు
trouble.
నువ్వు సంతోషం పెట్టి తర్వాత నీవు సేవల్లో పో.
Make your parents satisfied. Make them happy first.
కొంతమంది పిల్లలు చెప్తుంటారు, స్వామి మా తల్లిదండ్రులంతా పంపరు స్వామి సేవకు అంటుంటారు.
Some students say, my parents won't permit us for
పేరెంట్స్
service.
చక్కగా నీవు దాన్ని విపులీకరించి చెప్పు.
Explain all this to your parents. Explain to your parents.
నాన్న తినుకోవటం కోసం నా దేహం వచ్చింది, 10 మందికి సేవ చేయాలి, పరోపకారార్థం ఇదం శరీరం వచ్చిండేది పరోపకార నిమిత్తము, నేను చెయ్యాలి, నువ్వు చెయ్యాలి అని తండ్రికి కూడా చక్కగా చెప్తే ఆయన కూడా కొంచెం బుద్ధి తెచ్చుకుంటాడు.
Explain clearly and teach your father. Father, do you think that the body is given for drinking and eating? No, the body is gifted to serve. You also serve. Teach him like that.
ఆ విధంగా వారికి మంచి మాటల చేత వాడు కూడా చక్కగా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తే వారు కూడా అర్థం చేసుకుంటారు.
Like this, sons can teach their fathers.
లేకపోతే వారేమనుకుంటారు, ఏదో వీరంతా 10 మంది అంతా చేరి గ్యాంగ్ మాదిరి ఎక్కడ పోయి చేరుతున్నారో ఏం చేస్తున్నారో అని వారికి ఒక డౌట్ గా ఉంటుంటది.
Or else the parents will start doubting you. Where are they going? What is that they do there?
కాబట్టి వారికి చెప్పినట్టుగా నీ ఇంటిలో కూడా ప్రవర్తించు.
So you conduct yourself in such a way as you have explained and behaved
బయట
there.
కూడా నువ్వు మంచిగా ప్రవర్తించు.
You be good with everyone.
అప్పుడు ఆ తల్లిదండ్రులు కూడా ఆనందిస్తారు.
Then parents will be very happy.
Om Shri Sairam, offering our loving salutations at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan, our respected elders, aunties and uncles, brothers and sisters, loving Sairam to all of you. By way of introduction, my name is Sairaj. This is Sister Tharsi. As Swami has already said, what we would like to do is to share our experience from our recent trip to Prashanthi, where we had the blessing to attend the Center Leaders Conference. So the Sri Sathya Sai Center Leaders Conference happened in Prashanthi Nilayam over 2 days in July, where leaders and office bearers and active workers from all over the world came to Prashanthi Nilayam, came to Swami's lotus feet to reconnect with Swami, talk about Swami's teachings. If you go to the next slide. So the theme was practice and inspire. There's some pictures of the inauguration ceremony with the flags of all the countries and the participants from all of the countries dedicating their nation's flags at the Divine Samadhi. I had the great blessing of participating in the Vedam chanting at the beginning as well, which was really difficult because we had a lot of practices and everything needed to be perfect for Swami. So every little mistake was pointed out. And like many of you may know, going to Prashanthi is a joyful thing, but also can be very strenuous and very intense experience as well. So the theme was practice and inspire, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And it was also around the time of Guru Purnima, so we got to enjoy the Guru Purnima festival as well. If you go to the next slide, please. The venue, of course, was the Divine Abode, which was so beautifully decorated, and we all know the feeling of returning to Prashanthi, and every inch of the floor and every pillar and everything is buzzing with Swami's vibrations, every place where Swami's put his foot. So that itself was elevating our thoughts. And we were spending the whole day thinking about Swami, and in this trip also thinking about the center and how we can all work together to make things move forward. The next slide, please. So the other special thing about this trip was there was the opening of the Sai Hira Global Convention Center, which is this amazing, modern, huge convention center. There's a 1,000-seater auditorium and a 300-seater auditorium. Most of you that know Prashanthi facilities, we kind of enjoy the basic rooms and the basic canteen and things, but this was like nothing else in Prashanthi. You step in and it's like the seats all are cushioned and go back, and there's air conditioning, and it's incredible. Like, it's absolutely state of the art. So they've worked really, really hard to build this facility. It was opened by the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, via video link, and he gave a wonderful, amazing speech in Hindi, which at the time we didn't understand, but it's now on YouTube with the English translation, and he talks about all his experiences with Swami, lots of the projects Swami's done and what projects he'd like the organization to do going forward as well. So that was really amazing to hear. Next slide, please.
So my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, Jai Sai Ram. So over the 2-day conference, we listened to devoted and inspiring talks by the chair, the vice chairman, and the trustees of the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust. So those who attended, all the talks were incredibly inspiring, and it was really emotional listening to some of the talks. And one of the talks was Ratnakar's speech. So there is an experience that I would like to share with you all that he shared on the day. So there was a time where Swami was traveling, and he reached this place in the early hours, so around 2:30 in the morning. Swami is ever so soft and gentle, and when he went into the house, he saw that they were sleeping. So what did Swami do? He gently went to the veranda. It just shows how much Swami loves us, so much love for his devotees.
Swami didn't want to disturb them in the middle of the night, so he just slept on the veranda of that devotee's house, on the floor outside. And then in the morning he woke up and he was there. So I think it was one of those talks where 1,000 people were weeping, just listening to, I mean, we had so many talks and so many experiences.
And the main message that Ratnakar mentioned was he is always about the devotees. He always puts his devotees first, and he never thinks about himself. And then following this, we participated in workshops. And so the themes that we covered were resolving conflicts, ideas for an ideal size centre, ways in which we can support SSC, providing opportunities for everyone, and discussing ways in which we can encourage all of you to come to the centre, especially the new members.
Just on this slide, sister, I just wanted to point out the gentleman on the right, this is the national president of the Sri Sathya Sai organization in Syria. I think when we saw the schedule and we saw his speech there, most of us didn't even know that there was a Sai organization active in Syria. And his talk in Kulwanthal was incredible. Just the joy and the experience on his face. He narrated how Swami had guided the devotees in Syria for the last 30 years. There's 4 Sai centers in Syria, and he talked about how Swami had saved them from bomb attacks and terrorists in their center, all the service activity they've gone on. And when I met him at lunch later, and I said, it was so wonderful to hear your experiences, and we had no idea. He said, I only shared 1 or 2 things, but there's hundreds and hundreds of stories that he didn't have time to talk about. And then Brother Ratnakar is in the middle of that picture, and on the far left there's Uncle Phil, who has spoken here at our youth Bhajan. Many of you may have remembered. He's the zonal chair for Europe, UK and Europe.
And by having these sessions with the conference and the talks, it just gave us a chance to meet all our global brothers and sisters, to interact with one another, exchange our ideas, so that we'll implement this when we actually come back. So there's many more to come. In addition to this, we also had devotional music and prayers and
Go to the
next
slide.
Next slide, sorry.
So these are the titles of the workshops. So we had speeches in Kulwanthal and in the convention center, and then we divided up into individual workshops. So there were 90 facilitators for the workshops in small groups, and our center president, Brother Raju, was also had the chance to facilitate one of them. So these are the titles. So on day 1, there were 4 workshops. The first one was about individual sadhana and leadership. The second one was ideas and actions for the Ideal Sai Center. The third one was about the SSC wing, and the fourth one was engaging members in community to serve through centers. And on the second day, we had formal workshops, resolving conflicts, providing opportunities to all, going beyond Bhajans, and engaging families and new members. So I guess when we're putting the Sai Center as the main focus, and when we start talking with devotees from America and parts of Africa and parts of East Asia, everyone has the same kind of experiences, the same joy, the same activities they want to take part in, but also the same difficulties with resources, venues, conflicts, difference of opinions. So it was about going back to Swami's words. What has Swami said about what we need to do when we have conflicts or difference of opinions in the center, when we find that it's difficult to get people to do the serve activities we want, or there's some other problems there. So it was about having a very practical, not a highly spiritual, but a very, very practical discussion about all our shared issues, which are really, really common between all Sai centers. We'll go to the next slide.
So when we arrived, it was Guru Purnima. So we had a musical offering by Dr. Karthik, who's a guttum player. He played along with his team. So some of you may have watched his offering, but there was a piece that I particularly enjoyed. So he would play the beat, and then he interacted with the public, and the public to clap out the beat. And I was really surprised. All of us did quite well with the clapping. And following this program, we also had an inspiring talk by Professor Anil Kumar, who we all know and is inspiration to all of us. And as you all know, his talk is always full of wisdom and humour.
I mean, Anil Kumar Uncle's talk, this is the busiest trip I've ever been to Prashanthi, because from morning till night there were just like things going on. There was so much that you wanted to soak in. So Anil Kumar Uncle's talk was really late. It was like past 8:30. Everyone was tired, but everyone would like miss dinner because they wanted to hear his talk. And he, firstly because of his age, he could not even stand up. So they had arranged for him to sit down and have a mic on like a headset. But he stood up on someone helped him to stand up on the podium. And then he stood there for more than an hour to give his talk. And at the end, he couldn't sit down. 2 Sevadals had to sit him down on the seat, because his energy just kept him standing. And he was just mixing, that spiritual thought with all the incidents about Swami, making people cry and making people laugh all at the same time. And then when we saw him at the end, his lips were so dry, they were like peeling, And I'll never forget that, because I think that's when you see the reflection of Swami in somebody. He's so full of Swami that his deeds, you can actually see that he's acting exactly how Swami would act. And when Swami was in a chair, that's how he was standing and giving his discourses. I think that was an incredible thing to see Anil Kumar Uncle. Just to mention the photos here, from the left, there was a youth offering by the Global Sai Youth. Then, as Sister mentioned, there was Gautam Karthik's offering in Guru Purnima. Then there was a national drama by the US children, SSC children, which was incredible. It was such a perfect standard. They really showed how well we could do things in front of Swami. So they started with collectively reciting Swami's 108 names in Kulwant Thol, which was a really incredible opportunity for all of us. And then their drama was around 3 of Swami's 108 names. And they just wove things about Swami, things about Prashanthi, things about America. So they had Abraham Lincoln, some of the Franciscan friars. So it was really well balanced. The costumes were perfect. The audio visuals behind were incredible. Like you could just see that they wanted every single thing to be worthy of offering in front of Swami. And the other incredible thing is that they actually had not even the children hadn't even rehearsed in America until they came to Prashanthi, because they're all from different parts of America. So it just shows this sort of like how high we can aim. And then the last picture is, I think it's the Middle Eastern countries offering. And then there was this tiny little boy dressed as Swami, and he was acting about the part where Swami sits on the rock and sings Manasa Bhajare. And obviously, like everybody in the hall thought he was so cute. And again, it was just one of those things that with the vibration of Prashanthi, when you see it there, it just sort of like takes everyone with you. So we really, really enjoyed all those devotional and cultural programs.
And there's just a personal experience that I would like to share. So following the conference and the workshops, so it was the day before I was leaving Patti. I was just casually in my room packing, and when I actually came out of my room, I just never thought I'll be asked this, but I was asked to play the violin for a concert at the music college. And it's always been my dream to play in the music college, and I never knew that day would come. And you can imagine, I didn't have my violin, I didn't know any of the pieces, and I had 4 hours to practice. And I had to practice mentally, but when I arrived, the violin was there for me, and everything was prepared. So it just showed me, no matter what you do, Swami is aware of everything, and he will reward you at the right time. And I think
Swami also knows what really is the deepest desire in your heart. Yeah. He'll give you the thing that means most to you, that not everyone will understand why that's so important, but that's exactly what will come. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
if you go to the next slide, so following the 2 days of the conference, we had a networking event. So many of you guys may know the double-decker building, which is near the bookshop. So all the different zones had their stands set up. So at the top is a picture of Zone 6, which is Europe. So we had some of the activities we've done here, like homeless feeding, the dignity bags for Syria, and various different things like that. So we spent like an evening and a morning all trying to stick these things up and everything falling out and all that kind of fun stuff that happens in Prashanthi. And then this really sweet idea we had that our, Uncle Phil had is at our stall, we gave out seeds from the meditation tree in Prashanthi so that devotees could take the seeds and basically grow their own meditation tree. So they gave me one as well, but I was like, I live in an apartment in London and I'm not sure I can grow a meditation tree. But like the devotees from Nepal and stuff and Thailand, they were like excitedly taking them to go and grow their own meditation tree. And then this picture down the bottom on the right, this brother is from Ethiopia. So he was staying a couple of doors down in the accommodation. There were 3 brothers from Ethiopia. Again, like they were talking about their center in Ethiopia that I'd never heard of. And, you know, there's like that slight language barrier where you've like really, when, you know, I think one of the standard questions that you used to be when you meet Sai devotees is always ask people like, how did you first come to Swami, what your experience is, because you like want to get it out of them. So again, I was like, you know, what do you do in Ethiopia? How did you come here? And I was just like trying to understand. And he just said like, you know, I wanted to know, this is my first time, I came here. I didn't tell my family. He said, I'm 18 plus, I just want to come, I'll tell them when I go back. But then like, I was like, you know, trying to like get out, like, how did you hear about Swami? How did you come here? But like that language barrier kept it a bit of a mystery. So, but this is the thing, we don't know who has come to Swami or how. But the truth is that whoever's come to Prashanthi and even whoever's come here is it's with Swami's guidance. No one can come to Swami without Swami drawing them. So again, we met so many of these people who'd been drawn to Prashanthi. We don't know how. That was amazing.
So there were several teachings of Swami that were shared over the conference, but I have chosen 2 particular teachings to share with you all today. So the first teaching, there are 3 paths in which we can reach God. What are they? Let's see who's awake. What are the 3 paths? Karma, yeah. Bhakti, yeah. So bhakti, jnana, and karma. So what does bhakti mean? Devotion. And then jnana? Knowledge. And karma. Action. Good. So we can compare these 3 paths to the 3 wheels of an auto rickshaw. So if you just imagine this in your mind, you've got an auto rickshaw, so you need those 3 wheels to actually make the rickshaw move. Likewise, with all these 3 parts, we need all of them. We can't say one wheel is more important than the other. So we have to try and keep a balance between them. So how can we put this into practice? Has anyone heard of the 9-point code of conduct? Yeah? So if you simply follow those 9 points, you've actually covered all of those 3 paths, bhakti, jnana, karma. So the second teaching that I would like to describe is something that I could relate to, and it really stuck with me during the conference. Sometimes we pray to Swami, and it might seem like he's not answering. You ask so many times, and you just think, Swami, are you really there? Are you listening to me? Why aren't you answering my prayers? This is where we need to remind ourselves that Swami has perfect timing for everything he does in our life. God's delays are not denials. He knows what is best for us, and delays are only there to bring added joy. So just remember, have firm faith and surrender to Swami. Just hold on to him tight. Throughout this whole conference, that was the main phrase that they kept telling us. Just don't let go. He is there, and sometimes it might feel like he's not listening, but he is there. But there's a reason for why he's doing everything, so just be patient. And there's an extract from Prayer of Surrender that I would like to share with you all. Don't get agitated. Close your eyes and tell me with faith, thy will be done, you think of it. And when you speak thus, I accomplish a miracle when necessary. I think of it only when you trust me totally. I always think of you, but I can only help you completely when you rely rely fully on me.
We'll go to the next slide. I think it's Swami was already just said in his discourse. I mean, it's amazing Swami's timing. Whatever we think, he says it before we do, and it's exactly what he's done today. But we really wanted to take the opportunity to share that sort of like bliss that we've taken from Prashanthi with you. But it's also so hard to explain our personal lessons because some of the teaching is just for us. And I feel especially the last few days when you're on a trip, the first few days when you arrive in Prashanthi, you're getting accustomed to things. But the last few days when you're so connected to Swami, I felt like whatever I thought and whatever I asked, those answers just flooded in. And one of the thought for the days when we were there, Swami had said, every moment in time is a lesson and everything in nature is a lesson. And that's exactly what I felt the last few days were there, that whatever I thought about, whether it was personal or about the center work, Swami was just encouraging me and giving that energy and saying, go back and keep going, prioritize Swami's work. So I'm not going to narrate all like personal things, but I just wanted to share some things I learned that I found really wonderful. So this was the beginning of the Sai organization itself, which was in 1961. So Vijayadashami Day, as many of you know, during Dasara they have the yajna that happens. And at the end of this yajna, when Swami put the Purnahuti, he took the mic and this is what he said. And when he started the organization, he said, I am starting a Seva Samati. The persons who become members of this Samati and perform selfless service will be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Not only they, but also their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. But the test will be severe. I will see how many will withstand this trial and emerge victorious in the end. So I think only God can say something like this, that just to belong to this organization, he will liberate you, your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. And it's also not to be the president of the Samiti or be the coordinator or the Bhajan convener. It's actually to be a member of this Samiti. Swami's bar for just being a member, attending Bhajans in his Samiti is so high. And I'm not sharing it now because of the time, but in the same discourse, Swami gives an oath. He's written an oath that all members, not office bearers, all members of his organization should take. And in India, they actually do that, and I think that's probably something we should do here as well. And in that oath, Swami, basically each person has to ask Swami's guidance to follow, according to Swami's law. So that standard of like just being a member is Swami said it's so high, and the reward, of course, Swami set so high as well. So that was 1961, and then what we learned in the conference is right across the 60s, Swami had given various discourses and really focused on creating the organization. So this was the first All India conference in 1961, and Swami gave the 3 qualifications. Again, they're the qualifications just to be a member. So not to have any role, just to attend the center, Swami's given these 3 qualifications. The first is, they must be eager aspirants for spiritual progress. The second is, they must have full faith in the name that the organization bears and in spreading that name in the manner suited to its message and majesty. And the third is, the member must have won recognition as a good person. This is all the qualification needed. Nothing else counts. There is no need to have money or lands or scholarship, influence or authority or official position. If you have the 3 qualifications mentioned, I assure you, even if you have no place in any organization bearing my name, you will have a place here. And then Swami indicated the place of his heart. So this is how elevated Swami has set the bar for all of us to engage in this organization. I think that's what the main thing I learned in the conference is, you think that everything you're doing is pretty good, but then when you see someone doing it 100 times better than you, then you're like, wow, actually my bhajan singing is not that good, or my fitness is not that good. It's a bit like that when you see what Swami's expectation is. When we are reminded of what his words are, then we really feel. Firstly, we feel like we should do so much more and so much better and so much closer to Swami. And then secondly, we feel that encouragement that yes, we can do it. And even here, sitting like in the front here, listening to the Bhajans, it was no different to Prashanthi. It was not less energetic than Prashanthi. It was absolutely like Prashanthi, the Vedam that we started with in the Bhajans. So I really, I feel that that's what Swami he's showed that we can do that. And then the other thing is, so that's the 3 qualifications to be a member of the organization. And then having joined the organization, the charter of the Sai organization says that every member should practice the 9-point code of conduct. So it's again something we've all heard about, but like maybe has sort of dropped off our thinking a little bit. So the 9-point code of conduct, I'm just going to read it. The first is daily meditation and prayer. Second, devotional singing and prayer with family members once per week. Third is participation in Sai spiritual education by children of the family. The fourth is participation in community service and other programs of the organization. The fifth is at least once a month attending group devotional singing at the center. The sixth is regular study of Sai literature. The seventh is speaking softly and lovingly with everyone. The eighth is do not talk ill of others, especially in their absence. And finally, maintaining a ceiling on desires and utilizing any savings generated for the service of mankind. So a wonderful anecdote about these 9-point code of conduct is that apparently Swami was asked, how do we know that the members in our center are following the 9-point code of conduct? If this is what they're supposed to all be doing at home, how can we check that this is what they're doing? And the reply that Swami gave is, if they follow number 7, speak softly and lovingly with everyone, then you can know that they're practicing all the other. That's the reply that Swami gave. So he's really emphasized that, and it's such a wonderful anecdote. And again, like it doesn't matter how much we've read about Swami, we hear these pearls and it's new to us, and there's Swami's words really we can't exhaust them. And the other thing that was pointed about the 9-point code of conduct is some are at an individual level, some are at a family level, and some at a community level. So again, those 3 aspects that Swami's talked about: individual, family, and society. And also, as Sister talked about, some of those are devotional activities, some of those are practical activities, and some of them are wisdom-related activities. So again, those are all things we can aspire to. Next slide, please. So we had to think about future directions coming back to our center. As Swami has said, what are we going to take away from everything we've learned? How are we going to keep that container of bliss going? And I just wanted to share what Swami said about when we come home from Prashanthi, why do we lose that energy? Sometimes we lose that energy just on the flight home. How do we keep that energy going? And Swami says if you have a bucket and it has holes in the bottom, the water will just go down through the holes, and you don't even need to have multiple holes. If there's one hole in the bucket will go empty. And all those holes, our vices, our bad qualities, our senses. So first thing is to plug those holes. And the second thing is to keep the bucket topped up. So if you have water, if you keep it topped up, so every time we come to Bhajan, we do our sadhana, we listen to Swami's talks, we're topping up our container. So I think this time I've really tried to carry Prashanthi with me, think about here as Prashanthi, and really like not let it go. And I think I'm doing a little bit better than previous, like watch a movie on the flight here and it's already completely gone. Doing a little bit better this time, but I think, so keeping that energy going, I think is a one personal thing. And then the things we talked about is focusing on the Sai center. So the center is the basic unit of the organization. And we talked about awareness, attitudes, and activities that we do in the center. Secondly, focusing on Swami. So going back to Swami's words, Swami's ways, Swami's expectations. So exactly how Swami wants us. When we think, how can we do something? Going back to how Swami would like things to be done. And then individual sadhana and development. So not worrying about what somebody else is doing or why somebody else is behaving that way, but just focusing on ourselves and taking the 9-point code of contact as our basis. And then I think individually prioritizing Swami's work and building legacy. I think all of us, especially us younger people, who Swami's brought us close to him at this sort of young age. And as Swami says, start early, drive slowly, and reach safely. We have that early start, and we're so blessed to have that. So I feel like we must not let go of that opportunity to make Swami's work our priority. And I think both of us have experienced our challenges at work and with various things, trying to fit Swami's work around that. But it always happens, and Swami always, if we're doing Swami's work, the so-called work, which isn't any different to spiritual work, of course, everything Swami makes it fall into place. So I think that's a personal lesson for me, is to keep on prioritizing Swami's work. Did you want to add anything to that?
Nothing more.
I think since we've got so many of you here, and we're fortunate to have Auntie Karanis, who is our guide here, and we have Brother Ketan and Brother Bhavish, who was with us there. And I really wanted to hear any of your ideas or any of your responses to what we've talked about. Auntie, did you want to add to? Did you want to add to what we said? No. Did any of you want to add to? Brother Bhavish, did you want to say anything from your time? That's fine. I think we've taken up everyone's time, so we'll say Sairam. Sairam.
Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai.
Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat.